Nickel Fritz.
And
now we're live. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Creative Makers Podcast with your host, Joey with Steel Blade Woodworks, Matt with Wacky Works Workshop, Jen with Jen's Turns, Jamie with JP Woodwork, and Jake with Northside Custom Crafts.
Well, welcome to Creative Makers Podcast, episode 16. And today we have this beautiful bearded man by the name of Al Schulze with New York Woodworks.
Mr. Schulze.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joey with Steel Blade Woodworks, and let's get it going. I forgot, but I
did good.
You know, we brought it in. How you doing today, Al?
I am doing wonderful, but I'm getting better. How's everybody
doing? Good. So we usually just started off and just give us a little background how you got started and what you do.
Well, I was born in 1960. No,
by golly,
we
no wonder you got some gray on that beard.
Not unlike most people. I was born a farmer, a dirt farmer. My family lives right up the road here, about 800 feet, and the necessity of not having a bunch of money, the necessity to repair and fix things, just kind of was always part of my life. You know, taking things apart, figuring out how they work, you know, and all that kind of stuff. My grandfather was a woodworker, hobbyist. And he had one of those shopsmiths. You remember that death machine? Did 9,000 different things, but nothing really well. And, it was always intriguing, and it always, you know, he taught me a little bit about wood and a little bit about that and everything. And then later in life, I just kind of kept making. I didn't know I was a maker or anything. And then my uncle actually gave me his old workbench, and I put it in the basement. This has been back probably 2012, 14. And I just started. I made a cutting board. Somebody liked it. They asked me to make them one, and made two more, and two people liked them. And I was like, hey, there might be something to this. So we started to, you know, kind of like Jake's, you know, when I first met Jake, he was, you know, doing craft fairs and stuff like that, a couple a year or whatever. And we kind of did the same thing. And then it kind of progressed into a bad obsession that got really expensive. And you know, all the while I was working full-time jobs and running our own businesses. And I'm a injured veteran, and my plan was to retire at 60 and be a woodworker. And we ended up having basically a doctor say, well, you know, you can get out of it. I was driving a truck. We owned our own trucking company. And he said, you can get out of the truck now and take care of yourself, or you can keep driving for another 2 or 3 years and buy yourself a wheelchair. So we just kind of bumped retirement up a little bit. It's still a struggle, you know, making ends meet, but it's a lot of fun. We've invested quite a bit into the shop. The shop is right here on our property, so I can work when I can, and when I need to take a break, I can take a break. We've got a large format CNC machine. We've got a 100-watt laser, and then just regular, you know, drill press, bandsaws, sanders, all that good stuff. And we just try to make money where we can make money.
That's about.
All right, Al.
Yes.
For the people at home, my name is Jake, and I do an icebreaker. People know that we do the strong hand little meme all the time on the show. I whip it into edited videos, and we do it on the show all the time. But not everybody knows that originated with you. So if you want to explain how that came about and the swap that we did and stuff, and just let everybody know how that was.
Well, I don't know how many years ago this has been. Sorry, should have been prepared.
Nice
But-
shirt, buddy.
I got a hair and said, "Hey, I'm going to start doing." Everybody was trading stickers. That's what kind of encouraged the whole thing. It was like everybody was doing sticker swaps for a while, and I was like, "Man, anybody can make a sticker or get a sticker or something like that. Let's swap mallets." So Jake is one of the first people I swapped the mallet with, and this is the mallet he sent me, and I sent him. Yeah, look at that. This is one of the first mallets you did, bud, I think.
Yeah. It looks good on accident, I promise you. It was luck.
It's shocking that it's green.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We were doing. Yeah, I sent him a Incredible Hulk tray there a while back too. Yeah. And I don't remember. I think it was because he. If you don't follow me, I put my fingers where they shouldn't have gone. So he made this mallet tiny so I can get my strong hand around it. So yeah, I am the brunt of the strong hand.
Yeah, so every time I just told Jamie, I said something to Jamie the other day, and he was like, "Really? Is that where it came from?" So every time we play that meme or I see it or whatever, I think of Al. I think Al, his little hand, but no one else knows. So now, hopefully, some other people will know.
Yeah.
Where it all started.
I was in a hurry. I was trimming the end of a table off with a track saw one day, and I was in a hurry, wasn't paying attention. And as you know, when you're cutting with a track saw or a skill saw, the offcut was getting ready to fall off, and I just said, "Oh, that's going to fall off on the ground," and I just reached in to grab it, and I grabbed the track saw.
Trimmed everything.
And that trimmed everything. Yeah. And,
Do you still have the saw?
Oh yeah.
I thought he was going to say his fingers.
That works good.
I paid way too much money for that saw to get rid of it. It's not to. Well, I would never belittle anybody's equipment or anything like that, but it was a Festool track saw, and I saved to buy that. But the woman who did the surgery on my hand, when I came out of surgery, she goes, "That was a really good quality saw, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "I don't know what it is." And she goes, "That they told me it was a skill saw accident, and a skill saw, because they're so underpowered and torquey, she was expecting my hand to have been pulled up into it and really mangled, and that saw I had just bing, it was gone. It was gone.
That's high quality stuff right there.
Yeah. When we get there, I didn't even realize the tip was gone, and because I just wrapped it up immediately. And we get there we got to the ER, and she's like, "Where's the end of your finger?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So we had to come back like 6 hours later and figure out where it was. And my wife, I said, "Honey, I can't pick that up. You're gonna have to get that."
Oh man.
Yeah, that was it. That was an interesting.
I think the ice is broken.
Yeah.
I think I might change the subject.
I'm sorry about that.
I'll just mute myself. She's referring to me.
Next question, please.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is Jen with Jen's Turn. And my first official question for you for this session after Jake's lovely icebreaker there is, you said you have a 100-watt laser back there, and I see it all nice and pretty. What kind is that?
It's a Laguna MX.
Laguna.
The Wi-Fi, which I don't use, it's plugged in with a cable because the Wi-Fi is subpar.
That's a nice way to say it.
Super nice and classy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love it. It's a great laser. Of course, it's kind of like a shop. As soon as you get it, you're like, wish I'd have went with a 150.
Yeah. There's always upgrades.
Yeah,
there you go.
I would really, but it's a great laser. I never even opened the fan that comes with it. The squirrel cage thing. We just upgraded it. That is grow operations fan. super quiet, moves a lot of air, and it's just piped right outside. There's like a dryer vent, 6-inch dryer vent on the outside.
Yep.
And
Nice.
it's a really nice setup. We've done some lens upgrades and that kind of stuff. But like I put a 4-inch focus lens in a 2-inch cone. So now I can burn inside bowls without worrying about crashing into the sides.
Nice.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. So little tricks, but we've
There's
got
a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them to learn on that stuff on lasers.
Yeah.
and there's so many of them. Brands like I'm really hooked on, not hooked, but like I'm really like starting to read. My wife's going to kill me, but I really, really want to fiber laser. I want to fiber, you know, because
Yes, friends of mine have the fibers, and they've made some coins for me and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. It just never fails. It's like, oh, you got a CNC, you can do this. Oh, you got a laser, you can do that. But can you do this? No, I don't have that tool.
Yet.
I see you already have the bench behind you ready for it.
Yeah, this is a coin that Two Moose Design made me on their fiber laser.
Nice.
Yeah, they're good people.
Cool.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Matt Wackerly with Wacky Works. Al, I got to ask you, you got a laser and you got a CNC going on right there. What kind of software do you use for those?
The laser, I use Lightburn. It's just classic. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so the easiest software is what I'm going to use. For the CNC, I started out with VCarve Pro, and then about a year and a half ago, we upgraded to Aspire, so we could get them because it'll handle 3D tool pathing. I have tried. I never got SketchUp. I could never figure it out. I never was able to handle Fusion 360. You know, like I see these people running these softwares, and I'm like, man, I'm so jealous. Like I literally, like people can't believe. Like several of my friends who use higher powered versions of softwares, like Fusion 360, they'll ask me who made a file, and I'm like, I did, and they're like, how? And I'm like, I make it in. I'll make files in Aspire and then export them to Lightburn, and people are like, "That's not how you do that." And I'm like, "That's how I do it."
There's
Hey, if it works, why not?
There's always a way around it. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm the king of hacks. You know, if I could figure out a way to shortcut something in software, because I mean, I've had a website for 6 years and it's still not completely up and running because I can't figure out how to get it done. So,
it's a rough life.
Lightburn and Aspire are the way to go if you're looking for user-friendly point-and-click kind of software. Like people start talking G code, and I'm like, I just hit toolpath enter, and G code pops out. I don't need to know how many lines of code there is.
Yeah, right. Just point at the line, give me a toolpath, and it's ready to go. Send it. Let's go.
That's right. I pick up my little thumb drive and I walk over here and plug it in, and it goes.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jamie from JP Woodwork. So your ceiling is homage to past. Let's go with lessons, shall we? Can you explain why you put them up there and you've not put them in the firing barrel?
Well,
hopefully your finger's not up there as well.
No, they literally they did throw it away though. I was like, you could have waited till I walked out of the room. It's kind of twofold. It's noise. It helps with echoing and stuff, and it also reminds me to check things. You know, because the majority of everything on the ceiling is a mistake. You know, I forgot to do a hold down or something like that, or And some of it's my first stuff. It's just MDF, carved MDF, and or I misspelled something, or there's.
He's looking along his lines.
Yeah, there's a few of them up there now. That's warped.
Like, did I ever finish anything?
Yeah,
But it's very cheap. Well, it's not cheap, but it's very inexpensive, repurposed sound, like to get the echo out. So
Yeah.
It's just peaks and valleys to catch sound. But
There you go. There's a lesson for everybody. Make more mistakes.
Nice.
It helps your sound.
yeah,
I feel so dumb now making soundboards for this room.
well, the soundboards look better because it's like some of it. Like for example, there's a piece over here that I misspelled the name, and it's been up on the ceiling for 5 years, and inevitably, every 2 or 3 people that come in, they'll start looking around and they'll go, that's spelled wrong. And I'm like, yes, I know.
Lights on the wall.
I'm aware. That's the reason it's there and not at the customer's house.
So on the CNC part, was that your first CNC, or did you have something else, or did you just go straight into the big animal that you have?
You went in deep.
I went full ham, and I never ran a CNC in my life, and we bought a 4x8 vacuum table Laguna Swift.
Hey,
I like your
go
attitude.
big, go home.
And I've had people like, hey, can you tell me how to run a X-Carve? I'm like, nope. How about a Shapeoko? Nope. I have no idea. I don't know how they operate. I still don't know how they use them.
So just to add a little bit to that, so like on my CNC, I can develop everything in Aspire and then send it to, Mach 4. I've always been curious on those CNCs, and I've never really done any kind of research. The box or your control panel that's there, do you design in that, or are you designing in a separate computer and just plugging into that control? Because you have a tall control panel on that CNC, correct?
Yeah, we can't go with it. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you just have the little controller there that you plug into.
I plug the thumb drive, which has the tool paths from Aspire, directly into that, and then just run it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, Aspire makes the tool paths.
Right.
Yeah.
So from that box, you just turn the CNC on. That controls everything. That box.
I do the zero height and the home and all the movement and everything with this hand controller.
Cool.
There. That's it. I bring this from the computer, plug it in, and then this is all the control.
Nice.
There you go.
It's literally, I think it's the same controller you have on your machine, right, Jake?
This is exactly the same one. Hey, can you do that again? Can you put it in there and pull it back out, but do it with authority and like some drama?
Jeez.
Yeah. Pull it out. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my.
Oh my.
So a vein in your forearm came out. Yeah. Yeah.
I got all these tattoos.
Don't fling another finger off. Be careful.
So now that's exactly how mine works. It's just you have that big control tower or whatever it is. I'm sure there's probably a lot more going on because everything's bigger on your machine, buddy.
It's the controller has 2 switches for the vacuums because I have two vacuum, and then there's the VFD to control the speed of the router, like how many RPM. Yeah. Other than that, it's just a big cabinet. Yeah.
Joey, you okay down there?
It's literally the same spindle that you have, Jake.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a super cool, super awesome machine. My next question is, when you're doing so you have your businesses and then you have social media. How hard is it to balance a balancing act between the two, and how dependent are they on one another?
Well, I've shut down most of my social media. It's tough. It's a huge balance. One, because I don't really understand how to make social media work. I've got my New York Woodworx Instagram, and I've had Facebook for however many years, and I just cross post to that from Instagram. So Instagram is my main only platform. Somebody talked me into doing YouTube videos back in 2019, and I did one. and I haven't done another one since.
I've been waiting, man, patiently
Subscribing everything.
It's I don't know how to balance. I don't know how to balance it. I'm very envious of you guys that do this all the time, because I'm like, how they can't be sleeping or something. It's and it's been a struggle, like not detrimental to our relationship, but my wife has been concerned. Like, she sees all my stories, and she doesn't do social media at all in any way, shape, or form. So she sees like all these stories, and she's like, don't you think you should be working instead of playing on Instagram? And I try to explain, like, that's only minutes, but it's so I had Me and Miss Ray, which was kind of a food and drink channel that was getting pretty decent traction. And then I started a pellet smoker, not smoking, like a barbecue type thing.
Right.
And that was kind of the catalyst of, you're spending too much time on social media. So I kind of backed away probably 2 or 3 months ago. So yeah, that balance is a tough balance, and it's a balance that I really, really believe needs to be paid attention to, because you can get off in the weeds super quick. And figure what I'm studying isn't I don't know if studying is the correct word, but what I'm trying to figure out now is, it's an investment that needs to be made in this world that we live in and operate in. And I just need to know or figure out the best way to invest my time in producing whatever. So I'm open to any tips there.
Yeah, it's rough for all of us, because you can make the coolest things in the world, but if nobody knows you have it, then you're just going to have it in your shop. You're not going to sell it.
100%. Like, I tell people all the time, one of the biggest struggles I have as a maker or creator or whatever it is that we're labeled is within reason. I'm not a pompous blowhard, but I can literally make anything. But I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to sell it to anybody. I don't know how to knock on that. I can't get from the curb to your door and say, "Hi, my name's Al." I don't know how that happens. I don't know how people do that. I haven't figured it out yet. But everybody that comes to me is like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you make this. Why aren't you selling it?" I'm like, "I don't know. Why aren't you buying them?"
It's like that one, because you don't share my stuff. Because you
exactly.
When you do this kind of stuff, you got to kind of know all aspects of the business, I guess you could say, and it's tough to know how to market it. You can make it, but it's just getting it out there to the public, and social media. It's tough. It's hard to balance it all. It is very hard,
and it's like you can get frustrated really fast. Like, the whole troll world. Like how many people? I'm sure you've all had them too. I don't know how many times I've gotten emails or messages. You can buy that cutting board at Walmart for $14. And I'm like, yeah, what are you doing here then? And actually you can't, but okay.
those are the people that aren't doing it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they get in there and they like blow up a comment section, and then you might as well delete the post because now everybody's talking about that and nobody's paying attention to what the post is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
But in a way though too, you sometimes you want them to come in there because that on a content side, that's going to push that out there further. It may not. It's going to end. It'll end up getting more good stuff than bad stuff, right? Eventually the people that know will usually take up for you. They'll jump in there and they'll start pouncing on them. It's just how you see it. It's tough to deal with.
So
As far as you having to read that and know that they don't have a clue what they're talking about. They don't know the cost, the investment that's in that.
a post that is full of goodness and no mistakes isn't going to get seen.
Yeah.
True.
So I'll be editing. Go, man, I misspoke, or whatever, and then I'll like either accentuate it, I'll make it bigger than what it was, the mistake, or I'll just leave it alone and see who does it.
Yeah.
And then it's twofold because I get to go whenever somebody says, "Hey, did you know you did this?" I say, "Yeah, I just left it there to see who would be the first butthole to point it out."
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of get to have fun with it, and then you get the traffic too. So anyway, just a little pointer.
No, that's a super good point. It reminds me of years ago, back when newspaper was a thing. We had a sales rep came to our business and wanted, they do the business page every year in the spring or whatever. And he's like, "Hey, I'm going to run your business card upside down." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Just let me do it." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." So we get the business page, you open it up. My business card is the only one you saw because it was wrong. And everybody turned the paper upside down. I was like, "This guy's a genius."
Yeah. There's a lot of people in the chat agreeing with the struggle of selling and everything. So it's big out there. There's a big maker movement right now, right? Everybody was at home. They started being creative. They had more time on their hands. But, it's the same thing I did. I like making things, but I needed to support my habit. So I'm like, "Oh, I better start selling some of this stuff." Well, you don't get so many sales, and that's hard. But I will say that I'm going to be a smart mouth right now. I go, "Hey, I'm twice as accomplished as you, Al, because I got 2 YouTube videos out there."
Yeah.
You're my hero now, Jen. I've got a goal to work towards.
I'm like, "Yeah, that was good. I'm done."
And I tell you, another frustrating thing is I don't want to name a place that you could be a member of and sell things, but you put this item, say $100 item out there that you make, and then next week or 2 weeks later somebody's making it for 80, and then 2 weeks after that they're making it for 60, and 2 weeks after that somebody's making it for 40, and then in 6 months your $100 item is now $12.95 free shipping. And I'm sorry, I can't compete with that.
I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name it because we all do it. So you can go ahead and you can name the stuff. It's not gonna hurt anybody's feeling. That's what this is about.
Oh, so, Etsy is 100% a race to the bottom.
Yeah, it's very volatile in there. But I've learned on Etsy, if you're gonna sell, know what you're worth and put it on there. And if it sells, it sells. It's hard because you are paying fees, right? But however they're able to sell it that cheap, their profit margins can't be very big, right? And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, a few people are following what you're saying. For example, Two Moose Design, Jeff and Jess, they are killing it, but they know what they're worth, and they're not going to come off their price. Their prices are 10 times higher sometimes than their competitive, foreign brought in made stuff. And they're just like, they're just like, if you're not going to buy our stuff, you're not our client. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Go somewhere else. And that's great if you've got enough volume. I would like to get to that volume to where I could be, hey, you're not my client. That's okay.
Yeah. And I got to be careful too, because I don't do this full time, right? So I can afford to sit on some stuff more than people like yourself that are doing it full time. It's a struggle. You know, you're trying to make money. I am too.
Sure.
I'm not going to cut it short just to sell it, because
Right.
when I first got on there, I was looking around and I'm like, man, how I can't sell my stuff for this amount. There's no way, you know. And I just came to the decision, I'm putting it on there, and if it sells, it sells. The right people that know the worth of it are going to buy it. And then it started moving, right? It just takes it a little bit. And the people that know what it's worth, they're going to be your customer. They're going to come on there and buy it, right? And you know, you have the tire kickers, you know, per se, that are not. They're looking for that bargain, but you, just like they say, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
Yeah, I get a lot of people that'll come in and favorite the shop or favorite an item or something like that. And I'm like, okay, why do that and not circle back around?
Yeah, and I have an Etsy shop. It's not very active right now, and I don't want to heap up on people that are successful and having fun and doing, you know, I'm not trying to bash it. It's just like you said, Joey, you know, I'm not 100% in the wood shop yet. That's our goal. We have a landscape business also that I would love to get out of, but you know, we've got to raise the income in here consistently, you know, before we can get out of that side of the house.
Yep.
So it's and it's also frustrating to, you see that, I don't know how anybody else, this is kind of a question, but you see that person who, well, for example, just about a mile and a half up the road here, guy wanted a price on a cutting board. So I gave him a price on a cutting board, and I don't make inexpensive cutting boards. So I gave him the price, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's crazy." And I'm like, "Well, you'll have it the rest of your life. It's kind of an heirloom, you know, investment, you know. Plus you're right up the road. You know, you can bring it back. I'll sand it off and re-oil it. You know, we'll take care of you. We take care of our clients if you're close." He's like, I don't know. Oh, did I forget to say he just paid $4.9 million for the house he lives in?
Oh yeah, you forgot that, dude. You forgot it. Totally forgot it.
Did I forget that part? And I'm like,
Yeah.
That's why the cutting board was too much.
Yeah. The cutting board. I was like, well, if you should have bought the house for 4.7. You could have got 2 cutting boards. There you go.
Yeah, he's in there sitting on milk crates like we did as teenagers in our first apartment because there you go.
Yeah. I'm not trying to tell anybody a cutting board that's eating ramen. I was like, okay, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna, you
know. Well, Jen, I think you're up, ain't you?
Yeah.
You never got around to.
Oh, I just commented instead of asking a question.
She just made some jokes. She's making jokes.
I'll go.
Okay, so question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jim.
My question was going to be, what's more fun for you? Do you enjoy more working on the CNC or the laser or some other shop tool?
I love the CNC. I wish I had a bigger one, not, you know, bigger vacuum, bigger table, tool changer, you know, but yeah, I love the CNC, and I like incorporating the two. We just did a big project for a repeat client who does have the money to back up his desires, and it's really nice to work for a person like that. And we were able to, I milled, hang on a second.
You look like Spider-Man right there. He's like,
Spider Owl.
Is this the golf discs?
These are golf tee box markers.
Ooh.
Nice.
So the blank is milled on the CNC, and then I laser the turtle in there because that's the logo.
Those dang turtles, man. There's
Jake's
something
got a
else.
thing for turtles. You better
Oh
watch
yeah.
Those turtles.
Almost 500 of these things.
Wow. Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So since we're on this one of my other questions later was going to be about these discs, because when you were posting, I think it was in your stories,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I heard you say, okay, I'm going to re-laser these now. So what was why are you re-lasering?
Well, when I lasered the danged old turtles, we if you're familiar with laser, I know you are, Jen. I masked this. I burned through the masking tape, lasered the turtle, and then I painted it. Peel the mask off. Well, the client this is kind of a hobby. He's like a retired I won't say his name, but he's a minority owner. He's a minority owner of the Boston Red Sox. So he's got some change.
Nice.
And this is his hobby. So he wanted to hand paint these himself, and they weren't deep enough to put an enamel. So yeah, talk about that was 500. Well, it was 255 times 2. And I messed 3 up.
Oh wow,
That's pretty good.
Way to
That's
go.
pretty
Are they hanging on the ceiling?
They are.
Wow.
And when a disc gets really messed up, I just CNC it into something else.
There you go.
Oh,
Hey,
There you go.
multi-purpose.
It's a problem solver right there.
There you go.
Hey, Sapile is expensive here.
Yeah, it is.
Really cheap
I mean-
here.
What's
So,
that?
Don't have to be a multi-millionaire to get it here.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's
Jamie said it grows on trees there.
yeah, it's probably $16-17 a board foot here.
Yeah.
So you got your CNC, you got your laser. You do some of all kind of woodworking. Anything else you work on? Any kind of metalworking or pottery or?
No, I'm a reasonably decent mechanic. I mean, I have to be. You know, I do have I do my own maintenance on the mowers and stuff. I am to the point in my life where I don't have a garage, workshop. So if it requires crawling under it, I do have a friend who has a shop, and I just pay him to do it, to do like transmission oil changes and stuff like that. I can handle it. I just don't have the facilities to do it. I have a 1969 Manx dune buggy project that's been going on for a few years. You can't see it, but the motor is under this cabinet. But that's an ongoing. When I have time. Turns out it's turned into a pretty good investment now.
All right.
Oh my God! Some of the prices those things are bringing.
Someone from the chat would like to know, Al, did you cut your beard for the show?
I trimmed it down just for the show, so it looks good. Yeah.
Oh my!
This is actually a lot of people don't. This is the first beard I've ever grown.
How many years ago?
It's 3 years now, 3.5. Yeah,
3.5. 2019.
Yeah.
That was actually a good segue to my next question, because I was going to say that was an impressive man mane that you've got there, Al, and I just wanted to know how you take care of it.
When I first started out, I was buying all the creams and all the pine tar, everything, and the oils, and I went crazy, and I actually started breaking out. And then my barber, I've got a really cool barber. Like, you go to my barber shop and they've got bourbon and cigars, and it's like really bespoke.
Oh yeah,
nice. Everybody tatted up to their heads, and my barber said, "Hey, just quit it. It's hair. Wash it." Who did
Will do.
So it's yeah. I mean, I've got a good beard shampoo, but other than that, it's wash it and brush it.
Low maintenance. That's good. Connie would like to know, what's the biggest wood project you've done?
I kind of like doing one-off stuff, but probably the biggest project in this shop, which is a small shop, is I built 15 maple tables at the same time.
Wow.
That's how I did that. So that's probably the biggest in volume size. I've done several one-off kind of apothecary style built-in cabinet at people's houses. Like the biggest one I did was probably 17 feet wide, floor to ceiling, and the only thing they said I had to use flow glass in the windows of the doors, and they wanted, when I was done, it had to look like it was 150 to 200 years old. So nice porcelain knobs and stuff. Yeah, and then probably 500 T-box markers.
So I don't know what it is. So what is flow glass?
Flow glass is like manufactured glass is like anything else. It's made hundreds of sheets and all this. Flow glass is made kind of like metalworking. It's made in a forge, and it's literally poured into a mold, and it literally flows. So it's not even consistently thick. It's like kind of 1800s windows. You know, they're distorted, and you know that kind of stuff.
I see.
And they had the glass they used. Actually, Jake, you would have liked it. It was white and green, kind of swirled. You know,
you had me at green.
There you go.
There you
go. One last question, then we'll let Joey get his question in there.
I guess.
All right,
We'll allow it.
Joey.
We'll allow it.
Mark says, given all your business efforts, how do you maintain a good work-life balance, i.e., how do you make time to use the boat, etc.?
Well, thankfully the boat has been paid off. It's a 2006, so it doesn't eat anything sitting out there.
It's a boat. It's eating something.
Exactly.
Work life. My wife and I work together. We own 3 businesses between us. It's the Works empire. It's Dirtworks is the landscape, Woodworx is the here, and she is a bookkeeper, so it's Bookworks. So it's I married my best friend. You know, it took me 3 times, but I figured it out.
That was super sweet, Al. Super sweet.
Aww.
Here. You want a big awe moment? This house was my great grandparents built the house we live in, and I gave my wife her first kiss in the basement of this house 35 years ago.
Nice.
Wow.
After 3, then 1, 2, 3. Aww.
But yeah, it's to answer the question, communication. I know it's the stupidest answer ever, but it works.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Smart answer.
Yeah.
Well,
So
for all the
learn from
listeners,
that.
okay.
Not all at once now.
Are you done, Jen?
Yes, I
don't
am.
want to interrupt you.
Jamie didn't do it.
For all the listeners out there, you like to name your machines, right?
Yeah.
So, can you tell them how that started, and can you tell us what the names of your machines are?
Well, you know, I don't really know how it started, but I just I guess being a farmer, you know, we named our cows, we named the tractors, we named, you know, some were good names, some were not good names. And the first major piece of equipment I named is behind the camera here is my CNC, and his name is Hannibal. and like Silence of the Lambs. And the reason he's named Hannibal is he's smart and he's sophisticated, and if you get too close to him, he will eat you.
Eating bits.
This is Clarice because that's Hannibal.
There you go.
If you can
There you
repeat
go.
it, what do you call a track saw?
You beat me to it.
Track saw, I haven't named the track saw, but this is the butcher.
I was like, Jamie, you're stretching it, man. We asked him not to cuss, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call the track saw sir. That is definitely
Heard it here first.
you want to respect. But yeah, I mean, you would think the track saw would be the machine I'm afraid of the most, but I have a 1970 Delta Unisaw table saw. It's an absolute amazing table saw, but it scares the tar out of me. There's not a safety feature one on that thing. It's triple belt drive, 3 horsepower. If it grabs a hold of you, you're done.
Yep.
And I've said it in my one YouTube video. These people that work in not climate controlled shops, my shop is heated and air conditioned because I'm old and fat. But I see these people, and it seems to be young people, and I don't mean to. I didn't know I turned into that guy, but they work with these flannel shirts and stuff with the sleeves hanging. Man, if you're reaching across the table saw, if you think for a second you're going to hold that back, your hand will be gone before you realize what happened.
Yep.
There's your PSA for the evening.
There you go.
But you know,
It's a good one.
shouldn't Hannibal be the name of the saw? Yeah, Connie.
Hey.
Hannibal existed before the saw. Actually, the tabletop was on Hannibal when I would cut it with the saw.
They were working together.
Yeah.
I think you're up, Jake.
Oh, I was waiting for somebody to say something. Because I've turned into that old guy, Al. Hey, look at that. Hey, so if with the business, and I know you're a Marine and woodworking and everything, if you could go back and tell the young buck Al some words of advice, what would you tell him?
Oh man,
Knowing what you know now.
buy stock in Google.
Ding, 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 ding.
You know, that's a really interesting question, and I think about things like that, and I've come to the conclusion at the age I am, I really couldn't have changed anything and still be where I am now. I mean, there's been some crappy times in my life, and injuries and or relationships or businesses or whatever. But if I didn't go through all of that, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you guys tonight. I'd be somewhere else. I don't know if it would be better, but I would be somewhere else. And I'm now
With a finger.
So you just tell that kid, it's going to be all right no matter what happens. You'll be
There you
all right.
I guess so. Yeah. It
helps you grow.
Because we've talked, my wife and I, we sit on the back porch like a couple of old people having a dance party, by the way.
Oh, my hip.
It's like sometimes I'm like, man, I wish we'd stayed together way back when we were just kids and, with puppy love, and all that. And we both kind of come to the conclusion we probably would have killed each other by now. And we would have been, we had to go figure it out and then come back together later in life. And it's been great. It's been great. So, yeah, I don't know that I would. There's all kinds of things that your brain goes, oh, change this, change that, but you can't change any of that and still be the person you are.
There you go.
True.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have any grand words of.
I'm just glad I had a question that good. You know what I mean?
At the end of July, Al, is just a few weeks ago, I guess. It seems a lot long ago. You were working on a flag and you said, "Stay tuned to see what comes with this flag."
Nothing.
What happened with the flag?
Yeah.
Oh, the 3D flag. Would you like to see? Would you like to see it? Post a
I would
picture.
like to.
Yeah, hang on.
Not finished.
And he's gone.
Bye.
After these messages, he'll be right back.
Right back.
There we go. Look at there.
Oh,
My.
nice. Sanded.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a 2-inch maple countertop. You can buy at big box stores.
There you go.
And yeah.
Nice. So you're going to leave it raw like that? It's not going to be painted?
I don't know yet. I'm not 100%, but that has triggered. I came across a friend of mine. I don't even want to say this. Anyway, I acquired 20 pieces of 3/8 inch thick tempered glass that are 30 inches by 72 inches long.
Wow.
So this has kind of got the brain going, and I think I'm going to do some kind of carving that can go under glass and become a coffee table or something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's kind of I'm kind of drawing inspiration from the money table, Jake.
Hey, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm just not going to put that much money in it.
I'm glad you're the one that watched it.
All right, so you have the ceiling failure display, and what is the biggest failure that you have had so far without being your finger? And what did you learn from it?
Biggest failure. Well, there's so many. Well, we had a lot of finish issues with those tee box markers because that golf course is in Florida, so you can imagine the environment that has to live in. Well, you're in Georgia, so you can definitely imagine.
Don't have to imagine.
Man, it's tough because I'm just kind of, I think that good old boy farmer attitude, like when something goes wrong, you just fix it. So I can't really, I've never had a project, I've never had anybody go, forget it, I don't want it, I don't need you, get off my property, forget the project.
Yeah.
I know people post only the best, on social media and stuff like that. I try to be pretty idiotic. I mean, what you see is pretty much
what you get.
My wife kind of says, stop doing that. People are going to think you're dumb. I'm like, well, I am.
Do you know me?
No false advertising.
Yeah. I could tell you, biggest. I guess it's my fault. The 15 tables. If you can imagine, I didn't have the laser at the time, so I had just a touch more room. But these tables were stacked up on sawhorses, and I built frames. I had a like an easel built, and had 2 of them on the wall. And I was finishing them with wipe on poly. So I would come out here every 6 to 8 hours and wipe down. I could do 7 at a time. So I got the brilliant idea. I've got this monster dust collector with this big giant filter on it. I'll just run the dust collector and let it cycle the air, for the fumes, because it got terrible fuming. So I just put probably Coke 4, maybe 5 on the last table, and I kicked on the dust collector, and the filter blew off.
Oh,
The whole shop, like the Dust Bowl in the 30s. So, yeah, we let that cure for 2 days and sanded everything off.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
got
one.
You just got really good at it. That's all it was. You just got
Oh,
really
and
good
these tables were amazing.
They were
at it.
awesome.
Why do it once
I
when you can
remember
do it twice?
They
So,
were
yeah,
amazing,
Yeah,
and
that's
there was a
where
lot of them.
And the thing that sucks is my back. My back is not the best. So moving these tables around, it was just like. So now I had to schedule people to be here and get help, and it was just a nightmare. So yeah,
That's actually a good segue to my next question.
yes, sir.
You've been known to do some restoration work in your time. Do you get the same amount of enjoyment as doing that as making something from the ground up?
Restoration. That's a Wesley weapon.
Restoration by a wabbit.
It's not Saturday morning cartoons, Jamie.
I'm like trying to be on my best behavior here.
He's just trying.
I saw a pretty owl. I did.
I like doing restoration work. I think I get more satisfaction out of building something from the ground up, because restoration work, the thing should look like something like specific. You know what I mean? Whereas if I build it, you don't know if I messed it up. You don't know what it was like when it started 5 days ago. But yeah, I do enjoy refinishing furniture. As a matter of fact, I'm refinishing the chairs, our dining room chairs, because I built a live edge dining table, and our chairs look really stupid around it. So I'm refinishing them. And a friend of mine is bringing his mother's rocking chair down probably tomorrow. I think tomorrow or the next day, and that's going to be a refinish project. So yeah, but I would much rather build straight up. But it. See, now you got me thinking. Damn it! Oh yeah.
All bad.
Don't accuse him of doing that now.
Don't tell my wife I've been doing this.
Steam will be coming out shortly.
If the project is meaningful to someone, like I did, if you look back on my Instagram, I did a rocking horse last year, and it was a dad who brought the rocking horse to me. It was his when he was a kid, and his boy was 3 years old. So, and getting to be old enough to use the rocking horse. So we completely took the horse apart, and like it meant a lot. I'm going to get emotional now because that's the last thing my mother and I worked on together.
Oh,
sorry. But yeah, so that was like a really like, wow, that like I was able to touch a family, and positively, and it feel, like that's a feeling you can't get with money. You can't get with things like that. That's just a cool thing. I'll never forget that part, or at least that project,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're getting to the end of this. I'm going to ask you a quick question. What's next on the pit? What's going on the pit? What are we cooking?
I did chicken tonight. I cook on that thing almost every night. I'm about ready to do a pork butt again.
There you go.
I haven't done a pork butt in a couple weeks, but I cook on that pellet stove every night, buddy.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
So just to finish it out, if you want to, any kind of links you got or whatever you have, we've got a bunch of it listed down below. Just go ahead and let us know. Let the viewers know.
Yeah, I mean, New York Woodworx, Facebook, Al Schulze Facebook, at New York Woodworx in Instagram, SCHULZE. Shoes. I do have a website. It's horrifically not a nice website. We're working on it, literally working on it as we speak. It's NewYorkWoodworks.com, NYWODWORX on everything.
There you go.
There you go.
You guys are awesome. I want to be part of this club.
You have been, man.
Maybe you could be doing restorations.
West
Hey.
away, west of Wabbit.
West away.
Hey, little known fact in the last few seconds, I was Jake Thompson's 33rd subscriber on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, I needed that one. I needed that one to go further.
That's right.
We couldn't skip it.
You were
There you
building everything out of cedar back then.
Yeah, I was. Here we go. Jenny Jen.
Hey, everybody. Al, thank you for joining us. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
the conversation.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it is going to be a somewhat quiet weekend for me. I've got people coming to visit, and that's about it. No shows or anything that I have to prep for right now. So,
There you
or at
go.
least for this weekend. The next weekend, yes. But
There we go.
Working on a design with a CNC after talking to Joey and Jake here. Figured there was a button I could be working on for VCar Pro and figured it out. So I'm working on a design to get this done. And that's what I'm working on.
There we go.
I've just finished turning a 6-inch sphere, which turns out to be 7 inches. So I've got a lot of sanding and polishing to do. So I'll probably be doing that for the next month. Apart from that, I'll be with Jake and Joey on Saturday morning cartoons.
There you go.
Speaking of that, this weekend on this Saturday, we're going to announce the giveaways we're going to do next Saturday, because next Saturday is 2 years that we're Saturday morning cartoons. We haven't missed a show, and we're going to give some stuff away. Thank you, Al. Thanks for coming on here, Al. Thanks for your service. Thanks for being a buddy. And now it's Joey's turn.
Well, everybody, I am carrying on with the office renovation. That's all on Instagram. I'm going to be having some YouTube videos. I want to thank Al for hanging out with us, bud. Appreciate it. Next week, we have Mr. Andy Berkey. He's going to be on with us. So come out and hang out with us. It's going to be the same time, same place, same beautiful faces.
Pause.
And we're going to pause a little bit and get on out of here.
There's some West Oasis.